That's on the labor. Another kind of sensitive topic that I want to talk with you about, and it's cool that I'm talking with you, because whatever bullshit I'm gonna say, I know that you're gonna fix me or you're gonna tell us what we need to cut off. So, the drug laws. That's a question that I receive from a lot of my friends, especially from foreigners, mostly from foreigners who are really curious how the actual law works, because there are rules, right? And there's thousands of rumors about what happened if you got caught with drugs in China. I want to hear it from you. What happens if a person got caught with drugs here?
They got caught for drugs. I mean, it depends on the exact situation. For example, you are processing drugs, or you are trying to sell drugs, or you're trying to transport drugs. So what kind of scenarios you're talking about?
I was probably speaking about the first and the second one.
Okay,
Yeah,
first
but
and
mostly
second.
I think, yeah, if someone took drugs, let's say he got caught of taking drugs.
Just taking a possession drugs illegally.
Exactly.
Okay. Let's talk about ice.
Okay.
Okay. If you illegally possess ice, like more than 50 g, you may found to be guilty.
Is it a death sentence?
No.
It's not true.
You won't face death penalty just for possessing ice. But if you try to sell ice or try to transport ice, you may face a death penalty. And the second drugs kind is, I think, marijuana, weed.
Yeah,
right.
And there's a lot of there's also a conversation that they're saying there's like soft drugs and hard drugs, right? And in some of the countries they proceed them differently. Like, for example, if you got caught with marijuana and you got caught with ice, that's going to be completely two different stories.
Yeah, what I have to say is that it's definitely illegal to possess marijuana in China, but you need to, like, for example, you need to carry 30 kg.
30 kg?
30 kg to find to be guilty. But the problem is that even though you carry marijuana less than 30 kg, you may just face administrative detention.
What is the maximum sentence I can get?
I think no more than 15 days.
15 days?
Yes, but
wait.
But after that,
even if I get less than 30 kg to 25 kilograms, and I'm gonna face 15 days, it's impossible.
Possible? Impossible?
25 kilograms of marijuana? That's
more than you carry marijuana more than 30 kg.
Right.
You may find to be guilty, but less than that, you will face the detention plus fine. But I don't know the exact number for the fine you need to pay. But I think it's a big money.
It must be huge. I mean,
yeah,
if
it
we
must
talk
be
about
huge.
less than 30, that's a lot of kilograms.
And the second issue is that you will definitely be deported.
If it's a foreigner, or if
if you're a foreigner, you will definitely be deported for this issue.
Yeah, 100%.
So you may never come back to China again.
Yeah, they're gonna give you a ban or something like that. I heard there's
yes.
Yeah, I heard someone got a ban for it, and they're saying like it's almost impossible to come back, never, because they have your fingerprints, they have your face, everything. Even if you try to apply for the visas, it's not gonna work.
Yes.
With whatever. I'm still want to check about the 25 kilograms of marijuana. That sounds a bit crazy. I think we will need to double check that.
Okay.
Because in Russia it's like 10 grams.
10 grams?
Yeah, you can get 10 grams, and you're gonna face real trouble.
But we are talking about the weeds, not just the oil. If you're talking about the oil, I think we will have different standard.
Okay.
But I don't remember the exact number for processing.
I think in this case oil. The biggest problem will be they're gonna ask you where it comes from, because if you have they're gonna definitely ask you where did you get it if you're talking about kilograms of weed.
But the weed I talk about is like the original material. You can't just smoke weed. We just burn these herbs, right?
Right. Oh, you're talking about the
original material.
What's it called? HTC, right? So the chemical that's inside the plant itself.
Yes.
So if you have the chemical of those kilograms, then it's going to consider that way, I think. But still, that's very interesting. Um, was there any cases that you heard about when foreigners get caught with big amounts of drugs here? Because I've never heard anything like that.
Me too.
I don't think that's not a smart idea for them
But
to do, for sure.
I'm not a criminal lawyer, so
Yeah, I remember. By the way, yes, Penco told me that he is not a criminal lawyer, and for the questions that I'm asking you right now, you actually get prepared, which is super cool, I think. Thank you for that.
Okay.
Even though we have some pieces of information. Another one, which I was really curious, and again, it comes from the people asking me, is those cases when someone on the street asking you for help, and I don't know, there's a grandma laying down on the ground, or some people just asking you to help them cross the street, and then they pretend like you attack them, and then they try to sue you. And I heard there's a lot of cases when they actually getting money because some of them can prove that you actually harmed them. How does those cases work? And what should we do? Should we just avoid helping people on the street? That sounds wrong, right? So how can I determine if this person is gonna try to find me, or this is someone who really needs help and I need to pick them up?
Many years ago, there was a famous case in China. We called Peng Yu versus Xu Shoulan. Um, that was the case similar to your description. Okay, the elder lady lying on the ground, and the guy trying to help this elder lady up. And when the elder lady awake in the hospital, and she just say, "Okay, it was you who hit me." Oh, that's the case about toll work. Okay, and the problem is about the reasoning part of the judge. The judges say, "So why did you rescue this elder lady?"
Because she asked for help. Because I'm a good person.
That's the explanation from the guy. Okay, but the judge just said, if you didn't hit the elder lady, so why did you help? That's crazy, huh? But what I can tell you is that in United States, the fact that you try to rescue or help someone cannot be used as evidence in the trial to prove the causation between the result and the damage.
Because they cannot prove the intention of helping. Is that what you're trying to say? Like they're not using the fact that I was trying to help because they don't know what was my initial intention to do that.
I don't think that's the only reason to explain this kind of situation. I think if the judge just agree that we can use this fact as evidence, nobody will rescue anyone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's a big problem. If I try to rescue or help someone and he can sue me back, so why do you do that? That's crazy.
It happens because it happens in the moment, right? Like when I'm walking on the street and I see someone screaming, the last thing I'm going to think about is, will this person sue me in the court, right? I'm just like, intentionally, I will try to at least pay my attention and see if anyone else is doing it. And especially if there's not many people around. That's actually the problem because I read from, let's call psychological point. Have you heard that if someone calling for help, you have a higher chance to get help if there's going to be only one or two people passing by? Because if there is a big group of people, let's say you got really hurt, right, in front of the big house, everyone going to look out in the window and they're all going to think that someone else going to go out and someone else going to help. So that's how these cases work as well, because if someone actually came to you, means there was not many people around, so he decided to, as I'm the only one, gonna try it. And after that, it's so hard to prove because there's not many people are, witnessed it. So how can you prove that you had a good intention?
Well, that's the issue about how to collect evidence. But as I said before, it is really bad to use the fact that you try to help someone as the evidence
Evidence.
for the causation. Okay, it's like for total disputes in China or in United States, we have to prove the causation. The causation which means that the relationship between the behavior and the result. Okay, we can't just say you try to rescue this guy because you do something really bad on this guy. No, that's really bad. So just especially for cases without too much witness, without the CCTV, I mean camera, there will be a really big problem. So as you can see in China, like after the famous case I mentioned, few people try to help or rescue people lying on the ground.
And how it ended up?
They,
Same?
They just don't do that
Oh.
because of this case. It looks like just like the judge say that if you try to rescue someone, you need to take the responsibility
For this person.
for this person. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's how I hear the law works. That's crazy, but that's how the system works, right? One of the cases that I remember that happened in Russia, and I want to ask your opinion about it too. So this guy was going back home from work, late night. He actually overtimed, and that's why he stayed late. He's passing and crossing like a living area, right? There's people sleeping, and then suddenly a boy runs out of the one of the apartments, one of the houses, and he's asking for help, and he's saying that someone is trying to rape his brother. So the guy wants to help. Obviously, he's going inside the house. It's an apartment building actually, but the first floor, and the door was open. He's getting inside. He see the pedophile. There's a fight started. This guy fell down. The pedophile fell down, hit his head, and died. This guy got 6 years of prison for helping these two children. And I talked with a lot of lawyers, I mean, my friends who work in law in Russia, and they said we all talk about it at work. And unfortunately, if you look at the case from our perspective, this dude just came inside someone else's house and killed him. That's literally how it works in the court. And the 6 years that he got, it's actually already counting the fact that everyone understand that he was trying to help.
Really?
Yes, yes, the dude got 6 years
Wow.
for breaking into someone else's
Wow,
apartment and kill him.
That's a big difference between the different legal systems.
How do you think it? What do you think about it? And how do you think it would work somewhere else? For example, here or in America?
I think even though in China, try to stop someone from doing criminal things, I think that's not a crime.
Even if that person died?
It depends on what kind of crimes the other party is trying to do. As you said, in this scenario, try to rape somebody is a serious crime.
But will they still consider killing of that person as the, how to say, they, is the system going to balance it out, and they're still going to just let you go without anything?
It depends on the fact of what kind of behavior or conduct you do to stop this guy from committing crime. If you can just use some, how to say that, or let's say if in this scenario you don't need to kill this guy to stop him, so it is not necessary. Okay, if you have to kill him to stop this behavior, I think that's reasonable.
I think a lot of, I mean, from what my friends told me, the fact that he break in his apartment, they're saying if it happened on the street, it might be completely different story. But because he break into his house, and then it happened there, there's no one else except these two boys who can witness it. And obviously they're in complete shock, so they're not taking their words for any granted. And yeah, that was the case. That happened, I think, a couple of years ago. Maybe more, maybe like 3 or 4 years ago. And that's that's an example how a system can work sometimes. One of the last topics that I want to discuss with you, and again from the people asking me and from what I read from the news, AI that makes decision in the court. And I heard that I forgot the province and the city again, but I heard there's this city in China where they implemented AI, and takes like 70% of cases, and it improves efficiency. Again, lowering down the cost, time, and everyone is happy. Is there really a trend that AI can make more and more decision in the courthouses, or at least in the simple cases?
Um,
Are you scared to lose your job?
I have already talked to other friends working as judge, but I don't think they use AI um, in in right now. I don't think they use AI right now. The biggest problem is that we don't know whether AI is stable for judgment, because we all know sometimes AI makes mistakes. When we use AI to do some legal research, the AI may just give you fake precedents.
The
Yeah,
perception of what can happen.
yeah. That would be a problem. And then the second issue is that I don't think the government has sufficient money to buy AI for
For
that.
that scale.
Yeah. So and in the near future, I don't think we will have
Even
AI
with
judges.
DeepSeek, even with the latest technology that they developed, because I feel like that system, it can. My idea was that it can handle simple cases, like let's say we know the pattern in, I don't know, 9 out of 10 cases like this. This is the outcome that leads, right?
Well, here is the thing. Theoretically, I think AI can do simple cases. That's fine. But the problem is that what if AI make mistakes? Who will take responsibility? The company or the judge? So, but no judge. Yeah, that will be the problem.
But do you think, okay, if even if now they're not doing it, do you think in the future there is a chance it might come to life, or you don't see that that's the world we're gonna live in?
I'm sorry. What
Do
do you
you
mean?
think in it, okay, if now you're saying they don't have the sufficient power, and we also don't know that the AI doesn't have enough power to do these kind of cases, right? Because it's still making mistakes. But let's say imagine in the future where we do have, because this system going to get better and better. Can you see a future where AI is making those decisions?
I think it is possible in the future for AI to do easy cases like simple sales disputes, car accidents. That's possible, I think. But um, I have to say sometimes cases are complicated. It is just they sometimes cases contains tricky fact. So, which means that you need someone to balancing the interest from both sides. But how to balance, it depends. And I mean, different times may have how to say that. I mean, a judge may make different decisions in different times.
Even though if the cases are similar, the little details can change,
Yes.
yeah, the outcome. What was the, again, talking about your personal experience, what was one of the most craziest cases you worked on? The one that you can share at least.
Yeah, I have already thought about these issues before this interview, but I think once I talk about some details about our case, I think my client will see it.
Okay.
So no.
Okay. Okay. Deal. That sounds fair enough. Um, Again, from your, have you worked with much of the foreigners in China?
Yes.
Except our beautiful visual director. What do you think one of the common mistakes that you can see the foreigners are making here?
Yeah. First of all, don't use business visa to find a job.
Okay.
That's definitely
Yeah, that's
illegal.
definitely one of the common one.
Yeah. And the second is that don't try to possess marijuana. Even though you may not find to be guilty, you will definitely be deported and never come back to China again. I have met some clients like that. They just ask me how to come back to China, but
Oh, they were in trouble before, and now
yeah,
they're contacting you to see what they can do if they want to come back.
yes, there are two common issues, I think. And third issue, I think, It's about the okay, I think that's it.
That's
That's it.
the illegal working and illegal possessing of drugs, right? That's
Yes.
going to be for the that's for the foreigners. One of the last questions. We started this conversation talking about the surprising laws that they have in America, right? You're sharing the one from Utah. Is there any really surprising laws that we have in China that we don't know about?
So let's say you know a bride price.
What is it?
Bride price.
Bride price.
For
Is it-
example,
yeah,
you
if I'm trying to get married and then I want to like pay money to get the wife
yeah.
in my house.
I have checked this issue with many foreigners. I think that's a special tradition in China only. I think people enroll in different countries like United States, Russia, they don't have these kind of traditions.
Okay, but what's the legals? Is it written in the law that I can't pay this money legally? That's what you're trying to say?
It's written in the law. It is written in the law that if you pay this money, you are not obligated to pay this money. But if you pay this money, maybe 1 year after the marriage, and you want divorce, you get nothing back.
You cannot get this money back.
Yes.
So wait. I just want to make it clear. I'm getting married, right?
Yeah.
I don't have to pay the money to get the wife.
Yeah.
But if I did so, if I paid her family to get this wife and get married, and then we got divorced, there is no way I can get this money back.
That there is a standard, like for example, 1 year later, 1 year after this marriage.
1 year after the marriage.
But let's say.
So if I change my mind quick, then
let's say
I have a chance.
Let's say below or inside 1 year, you may get some particular percentage
back.
Yeah, but not all the money.
Okay, wow, that's actually a surprising one. That's one I didn't expect.
But sometimes I just heard that the Chinese female won't charge foreigners for bride price. They
I
only
don't
charge
think that's gonna fly. And no, not with the guys from from the Western world for sure. But is it still common in China? Do you think that the young generation still does that? Because it sounds like a very old-fashioned tradition. I can imagine that maybe older generation do that, but I know I have friends, right? I have friends here. I cannot imagine them getting married and asking for the money from the husband's family.
Well, generally, it is not the girl to ask for bride price. It is the girl's family to ask for bride price. So it is not up to the girl.
Okay, the family first.
Yeah.
Penco, so the last thing we do here called Say It Fast. I'm going to ask you a series of questions. You need to give me the first answer that comes to your head without much thinking.
Okay.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Do you believe in luck?
Yep.
Can money buy happiness?
Nope.
Blonde girls or dark hair ones?
Dark hair ones.
Why the sky are blue?
Why what?
Why the skies are blue?
These guys?
The sky.
Why these guys are blue?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Self-control or self-satisfaction?
Self-control.
Name 5 biggest countries in the world.
United States, Russia, China, French, and England.
What is the longest river in China?
Longest river? I think it is Huanghe.
What is the capital of Canada?
Capital of Canada.
Yeah. Come on. Any city that comes to your head first in Canada. Should a guy pay on the first date?
Should a guy pay on the first day?
On the first date.
Yeah.
How old will you be in 2048?
How old will me to be in the
2048.
2048? Wow. To the calculation in a short time.
Come on.
48, like maybe 46.
46.
Yeah.
And the last one. This
Okay.
one you can take slow. What is the purpose of life for you?
Freezing the guards, making a happy life.
That's a good way to wrap it up. Penco, thank you for joining us.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Usually with cheers, I used to I used to do the cheers, but now I was like, wait, something is missing.